Hey guys, welcome back. It's Obus Form here, Duels of the Spellslingers. So today I wanted to sort of address a couple things. I'm actually one of the admins in the Discord and the mods, but in the community Discord I noticed, sometimes, especially as beginner players, actually, I know there's a lot of, I guess a little bit of disappointment or sometimes a little bit of, frustration against what might seem like some of the more overpowered planeswalkers, like Ra with the, oh my god, boom boom, zap zap, pew pew, 20 damage, lightning, across everything. And I don't actually disagree with you. I actually agree with you. In the beginning, it was very difficult. I think, though, as you get to learn the game, it would actually benefit you a lot if you learned how to play those particular planeswalkers, or if you know what they do, you have to sort of set up your board to help them, or rather help yourself, decrease the value they get out of it. Sometimes there's it's basically pattern recognition. You learn the combo of cards they could have depending on what they splashed, or just in general, if they're, two colors. And so I wanted to show you today, rather, some of the gameplay you can have. So I'm here playing a Liliana white splash, and I always play Liliana's white splash, best splash, really. But I want to sort of go through the deck with you, and then show you how I fought I guess Angrath, and what my goal was to defeat his very aggressive Angrath play. So, as you guys can see here, I got 2 cards. Zombify here, so that's 2. Blessed Rebirth, that's 4. Gravedigger, that's 6. And then maybe Scour the Void, but not really. But Shadows of the Past, that's 8 cards that bring cards back, trying to maximize Liliana's passive, where everything that comes back gets permanent, +1/+1. Whether it gets destroyed, still keeps it, whether it gets returned to your hand. So that's the strength of this deck. It's to bring things and to time it properly with, Blessed Rebirth, with Shadows of the Past, with Zombify, time it properly with Gravedigger, to use your mana curve as it comes. But that's how you would get the most value of this deck. And I say a big but, though, because depending on who you play, as you can see here, the mana curve is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's a lot of mid-range 4 cards. Peafoul, Liliana's Goliath, Gravedigger, Flagrant, and then even more expensive. What's the problem with this? If you fight Teferi with Unsummon for 2 mana, Jace with Unsummon for 2 mana and Repulse for 2 mana, and even those Mistraven 5 manas, repulsing your, let's say, Liliana's Goliath, repulsing your Peafouls, remanding or stopping your Scour the Void, you as a mid-game, sort of with a little bit of endgame, as a mostly mid-game into late game, you are very susceptible to those very late game players, and you have to be super aggressive in the beginning, hoping for things like Decay, and bringing it back with Zombify, and then again with Zombify, and then again with Blessed Rebirth, growing this Decaying Ghoul to like a 7/7, something ridiculous. I mean, it doesn't always get there. Sometimes it can get to 5/5, but that's the point and the power of Liliana's passive, alright? So now you know the goal of this deck is to maximize bringing things back and timing it properly. And so with this goal, you have to learn to fight other planeswalkers. So I wanted to show you this particular match fighting into particularly Angrath. Very aggressive guy who's, I think this is the Diamond League. So I'm assuming, we'll get up to Mythic, everyone, but Bridge Burners is a guild, and this is a name, and this is Diamond League in Angrath. So let's go through this, and I'm going to maybe pause halfway through the gameplay to sort of show you kind of, what's the reasoning behind all the stuff that's happening. So loading screen, and here we go. So it's going to be myself versus, the Chinese guy. So I think it's Chinese. So I'm considering here, I'm going to put back Flagrant because 4 mana is too expensive. As most of you know, Angrath, looking at that land at the top right, super aggressive. I think it's on turn 5. 30% chance to do 3 damage randomly to proc Angrath passive, or just straight up destroy some creatures, right? Some nice ping poke. So 4 mana is too expensive. Liliana's Goliath is a very big powerhouse for Liliana, but it's again too expensive. And Day of Judgment, 7 mana, way too expensive. So I think I was considering Liliana's Goliath, or Day of Judgment for safety, like health insurance, but too expensive. So I put them all back. So I do get the Merchant of Death, but I don't get any 1 cost. So turn 1, let's just see what happens. Turn 1 is my turn, and too bad I don't get anything, so I pass. Turn 1 on Angrath's turn. Does he get anything? Does he get the hasty 1 mana 2/1 goblin?
Finally, a
Nope, he gets Shipwrecker. That's too bad for him, but still he gets a 1-cost play. So now on turn 2, my only play Merchant of Death. Why not? And turn 2 for him. Does he blow his mana gem? Does he blow his mana gem? Does he attack? I think he's going to attack. And then maybe, you know, because Shipwrecker will, even if it gets blocked, it will do the 2 damage. Nope. He decides to blow mana gem and do Ball Lightning. So of course Ball Lightning will die. So I block the Shipwrecker. I clear the field, but I take 6 plus 2 damage. And so on turn 2, I'm down to 16. Super aggressive. But luckily for me, I get the Diehard Fan. I get the Relentless. So, you know, the 1/1 Ghoul. And so I'm sort of, at least, you know, my goal is, again, with Liliana's passive, I want to trigger more Relentless to gain more life and to pressure him back. But of course, Angrath is just not going to block, right? Because these guys, once they get Relentless, they can't block anyway. So Angrath is just going to take the damage and then sort of just kill my blockers. And that's the game we're playing. And that's what you need to know when you play against someone like Angrath. He's going to eat all the damage, and your goal is to just block the damage and gain life. And if you can, side here a little bit there, do the damage back to him. And he will only block when he's forced to. So we're going to see that right here. So I play these cards, and let's see what Angrath does on 3 mana. He casts the Shock to my face, doesn't kill the 3/2, and makes his Rage Runner sneak. So it's going to do 4 damage. So super aggressive. He's on turn 4 trying to bring me down to 10 life. So I attack. Of course he's not going to block, right? Again, so he's not going to block anything. He's not going to trigger my Relentless. I cast a Gravedigger. Why? Because I want to gain +1 life. I want HP to live. If he has another Ball Lightning here, it's going to be 10 face damage, even if I block it, right? Or sorry, rather if I don't block it. So if he does Ball Lightning, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to use a 3/4 to block. So no Ball Lightning. I take the damage. It procs Angrath's passive. He gets Angrath's Death Dealer. Gets +1 damage and draws a card. 1 more mana. Does he shock? Does he kill my, you know, 3/2? Nope, he flings to my face. So I'm at 8. So of course I go in, all attack. Of course he's not gonna block, boom, boom, boom. So he's dying just as fast, but again, not fast enough. On 5 mana, do I do Liliana's Goliath? No, I Scour the Void because I want more HP. I want to trigger my passive, gain more life. I don't know if he's gonna do, you know, more haste, more the Ball Lightning, 6/1 trample haste. I want more HP. And also I know in my mind that he did the Shock. So I get the Shock. Of course I have to block here. I don't want to take the damage. I get the Shock, I get the Fling. I can deal with the creatures he's gonna cast because, well, he already did his attack turn. So he's gonna cast some creatures. Nope, he's gonna cast Searing Chains. More face damage. Goblin Field Rusher. You know, he didn't actually cast it before, but now I get the 7/2 and the 4/2 with haste. And now it's a lot of board pressure, and I shock, yeah, and that's why I Scoured the Void. I get the +2 life, I know he used the Shock, I know he used the Fling, I get those controlled damage cards, and now I'm back in the game. And now he's actually on the losing, so he's gonna be forced to block, yeah, my 3/2 or my 4/2, of course the 4/2, right? So boom, 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 and like that, I'm ahead. But of course, when you fight Angrath, you know, yeah, so he's got the active Volcano, does 1 damage, procs his passive, kills my guy, but I gained the 1 life back. So all he did was proc his passive. And that's really about it, and do 1 damage to my 3/2. And so now, yeah, I'm looking at Blessed Rebirth and the Fling because I'm like, you know, he is 1 damage off from death by Fling. And he casts his entire board, right? Go for broke. He attacks with everything. Of course, I have to block. It's dangerous not to block. I take the 3 damage. It's going to bring me down to 4 HP. He's at 4 HP, and I'm like, you know what? If I can get in an attack, so what I do is I see the Mausoleum Witch. I give myself Relentless. In case he blocks, I want, again, more HP. Just in case, I don't know what he has, you know, he's got another Shock or Fling or whatever, I don't know. So I do it just in case he decides to block. So he's probably not going to block, yeah. And just like that, snap your fingers, you've won the game. And there you go. So counting the cards that he did with the Shock and the Fling, you get the value, you get the control cards back, and that's how you win against, you know, you can say very aggressive Angrath. So I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw or heard today. Please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care.